All of my content is also posted on 5colorcombo.com, a great website for all of your Magic the Gathering needs, including articles, podcasts, and custom Magic the Gathering tokens and playmats. As a subscriber to my channel, you can use the discount code NEEDSAHONE5 for a 5% discount in their store. You can find the link in the description below. Hello everyone, it is Monday. That means it's time for the weekly draft video. This week we are drafting more Kaladesh, and the draft has fired. Still firing fairly quickly. I'm doing this, I think the release has technically started. Ooh, I like Beaumont Courier for constructed, not for this, but it might actually be worth something. Not enough, 52 cents. Okay, so let's actually look at this thing, this pack. Doesn't look like there's any, like, you know, card that you're like, man, I can't wait to first pick that card. This pack is mostly devoid of those. Demolition Stomper. I don't like most of the vehicles that have high crew costs. The 1s and 2s and the 3s are the ones I like. So it means I also don't like this one a whole lot. So this pack is bad. So it's between these three cards, and I think Thriving Rhino is just the best of them. Spireside Infiltrator's fine. Vidalcan Blademaster's fine. Thriving Rhino, though, is really good. Beaumont Courier just isn't that good in Limited because if you draw it in the later game, it's maybe all it'll do is draw you a card and not for a very good rate or anything. If you play it on turn 1 all the time, it could be pretty good, but you're just not going to. So we're going to take Thriving Rhino here over our other options. Maybe it'll be some sort of green energy-based deck. Okay. Die Young's a pretty nice removal spell, but not an incredible one. Wisp-Weaver Angel is quite strong. I like Ether Theorist. There's no green card here that's great, although Hunt the Weak is fine. Maybe even more than fine. It's a pretty good removal spell. I mean, it is a little clunky. It has its problems, but it's fine. Works well with Fairgrounds Trumpeter. Impeccable Timing's an okay spell, but I think we probably just go for sheer power here, which might just mean Wisp-Weaver Angel. Die Young is fine, and Embrawl Bruiser can be pretty good too. But I'm leaning towards Wisp-Weaver over Die Young, which I mentioned is fine. I mean, if we're going to end up in an energy-based strategy, I guess it's okay with that, but I'm going to take the Angel here. See where the cards take us. Okay, well, there's an Imperial Voyager here. I think I probably take it and try to make it work. It's a very strong card. Gearseeker Serpent is also really, really good, so that is worth thinking about. Skyskiff is a card I think I underrated. If I ever get around to doing a top 10 things I got wrong about the format, I think Skyskiff's better than I initially thought it was. I mean, it's not incredible. I don't really want to take it here in a pack that has Gearseeker Serpent and Imperial Voyager, but it is pretty good. I'm going to take the Voyager and see if we can make that work for us, which might mean we're not playing Wisp-Weaver, but we'll see. They both care about energy, 2 of our cards, so that's good. I mean, just a 3-mana 2/3 with Flying and Trample is good, although 2 power with Trample is always kind of awkward. I guess they just did that to make you so maybe you want to, like, pump the guy or whatever. Okay, so now I think we take Riparian Tiger. It's a pretty good card. It also cares about energy. There's also Thriving Turtle, which is better than it looks, but I think I take Riparian Tiger over it. Thriving Turtle I can think about. I mean, getting 2 energy for 1 mana, it turns out, is actually a really good rate. There aren't that many cards that can do it in this format, but Thriving Turtles can. But I like Riparian Tiger more. Yeah, I mean, it's just like a win condition, where Thriving Turtle's sort of an enabler, and it can turn into a win condition sometimes, but it's mostly an enabler. I like Tidy Conclusion as well, and I could think about going that way, but I'm going to try to make this energy thing work for us. Okay, Weaponcraft Enthusiast is a pretty good sign that black is open, though, and I may just have to just change what I'm doing here. It is worth noting green can splash colors pretty well. I could take High Tide Hermit, but it's not very exciting. It's fine. But the black cards here all indicate to me that black's pretty open because these are all playable black cards. I could just take the Puzzle Knot and stick to my guns here with my sort of energy theme. And that's not a bad plan. Maybe I should just do that. Although the signals that black are open are pretty strong. But I think I'm going to try to stick with what I'm doing here, and if it dries up, maybe we'll look somewhere else. Okay, Propeller Pioneer is pretty good. Yeah. I mean, these black cards don't tell me much. This white card does, though. I mean, that's a pretty good white card. Don't want a main board Appetite for the Unnatural, especially, although it's not terrible. Select for Inspection's okay, and maybe just what I take here. I could also take the Pioneer, though, and we could just pivot into green-white and be perfectly happy. So maybe that's what I do here. Because the select for inspection, while fine, certainly isn't amazing. Yeah, I'm going to take the white card here. I mean, we already have one good white card. See if we can make things work. Okay, so self-assembler, a late self-assembler is nice, in part because it will allow us, we could play it in whatever deck we end up in. And if you pick up two of them, they're pretty good. And I don't think it'll be that hard for us to. We could take Sky Swirl Harrier, but I'm not convinced that I'm playing white yet. So I think I'm going to take the colorless card and be a little safer and hope I pick up another one. Okay, now I think I pick up another Puzzle Knot. High Spire Artisan's okay. Malphite Squad's is pretty good even. But I'm going to take another Puzzle Knot here and just go all in on energy one way or another here. I mean, even if we lose this, making energy is already something two of our cards want us to be doing anyway. So, yeah, but we'll just have to see what happens here. All right, well, here we have Engineered Might, and we could end up being green-white, in which case I think we probably want it. Yeah, I think I take that over the Express. And yeah, so Blade Master is pretty good, and if we end up playing blue, I think we would play it. Cow Prowler is fine. This black card is also fine. Pressure Point's fine, but I think we're just going to take the Blade Master. We're waffling a little bit, but I think we can afford to. I think we'll be okay doing it. We'll just have to figure out what we want to do. And green can help us splash. And splashing for the Voyager probably isn't a terrible plan. Okay, here we can take Tezzeret's Ambition, which is okay, or a really strong sideboard card. I think I'm going to go for the sideboard card, especially because it's not clear I'm playing blue. Okay, so Hazardous Conditions. I think I'm going to take it. The rest of the cards in the pack don't really interest me one way or another, and Hazardous Conditions, I guess if we ended up playing black, could end up being pretty good. Now I think I am going to take the Vehicle, because these aren't bad as sideboard cards, at least. Yeah, we'll take Sequestered Stash. A land that does something. Doesn't seem too terrible. All right, so we're going to have to decide if we're blue-green or, well, Metalwork Colossus, huh? It's a good card for sure. There's a Malfunction here, which is pretty good. This is much stronger than the first pack we saw. I like Filigree Familiar, Oval Chase Dragster, Ether Theorist, Pyro Helix, Malfunction, and Riparian Tiger. Those are all cards I would think about first picking. I'd even first pick or think about first picking the Metalwork Colossus. We do have two Puzzle Knots, so that's something. He works well with vehicles, too. So what do we want to do here? I mean, Narnum Cobra is good, too. What do we want to do here? Should we just take another colorless card and sort of hedge, knowing that we'll play it for sure? Or should we take Malfunction? I think we need removal, so I think I'm going to take Malfunction. As good as these other cards are. Hunt the Weak is good, but I think Malfunction is just better, so that's what we'll take. Concealed Courtyard, what are you worth? You don't really help me splash or anything, but yeah, you're down to $1 these days, so. Right, Malfunction number 2, Prophetic Prism, which would help us splash. Kind of thinking Malfunction number 2, because we do need the removal, and it will help sort of make our deck more focused if we've picked up these Malfunctions, and I think that's what I'm going to take here. And maybe we just lose white and see what we can do here with blue-green. And if we pick up a way to splash, well, I don't know what I would want to splash. Restoration Gearsmith's good. Sage of Shayla's Claim doesn't seem bad for us. Self-Assembler has gotten a lot better for us already, now that we have one. Like, taking 2 is pretty good. And it might just be what I do here, but man, there's also a Revoke Privileges. I was just talking about having figured out what I wanted to do, and then we get past Revoke Privileges. Oh, there's also a Windrake, which I wouldn't mind taking. Should I take Revoke? See if I can splash it at least. Yeah, I think I will. Come on, world. Tell me what I should do here more clearly. Ooh, Toolcraft Exemplar. What's he worth these days? It's always good to check these things because it helps you draft more if you can do stuff like that. Okay, I think I'm going to take Riparian Tiger over Propeller Pioneer or Windrake. I think we're just going to try to make this energy thing work. It does suck we didn't pick up that self-assembler. Oh, if we're trying to make energy work, how many artifacts and artificers? Yeah, we don't have many. This guy's a soldier. Yeah, we do have puzzle knots, but I mean, I guess we can use the energy to draw cards with it, which is pretty good. But I think I'm just going to go for the Riparian Tiger there. Okay, Thriving Rhino. Sure, I'll take another one of those. Narnum Cobra is a card I like, but Thriving Rhino is just better. I mean, we first picked one, though you don't usually want to be doing that. Ooh, that would be good for us. Okay, now I think we take Thriving Turtle. We're just going to go all out on energy. It's working out for us. Inventor's Fair is a fun card, but not really for us. Wouldn't mind another Blade Master. I mean, it would be fine. Or a Sky Skiff. But I think we just want to make sure we have as much energy as possible to power our cards. And Brawler would be great, but we're not red. And our colors seem plenty open to me right now. Of course, I say that. Okay, here I think we take Wild Wanderer. It helps us fix. This card is a contentious one, but I think it's probably pretty good. It's like a Phyrexian Arena that costs more with a worse downside, but Phyrexian Arena is a pretty ridiculous card. We could also take a Puzzle Knot, but I think we take the Wanderer and try to try to splash this Revoke Privileges here. So Nimble Innovator or Windrake. I think our deck's leaning more towards something like Windrake, though I wouldn't mind an Innovator, but I do love me some Windrakes. Okay, Ovalchase Dragster came back. So did Narnum Cobra. We don't have any 2s at this point, and Narnum Cobra is a pretty solid little card. Dragster also pretty good. Which do I want more? That is a good question. We don't have any reason to care about artifacts yet, and they're both artifacts. I think I'm going to take the Dragster, though, over the Cobra. It's just a pretty powerful vehicle. It just puts your opponent in a bad situation in most cases where, you basically have Fireball, and they have, not Fireball, Ball Lightning, and they have to figure out what to do about it. I'm going to be sad if we don't see another Self-Assembler since we passed one, but I'll make it. So we also have Sky Skiff here. Do I take it over Dakara P-Foul? I probably do, actually. I've been impressed with it on the whole. The P-Foul's good, and we're in its color, but I think we take the Skiff here. All right, I will take a Windrake. Well, how much energy do we want? We already have 1 Thriving Turtle, 2 Thriving Rhinos, and 2 Riparian Tigers. We want a lot of it. That much is clear. But do we want it enough to pass up an evasive card that can actually be a win condition? I think I'm actually going to take the Drake for now. I guess I'll take Failed Inspection. It seems more legitimate out of my sideboard. Tezzeret's Ambition probably isn't a card we want to play. And yeah, I'll take another Failed Inspection. So yeah, I think we're okay splashing Revoke Privileges with the Wild Wanderer and then running... Oh, hello. Well, I think we just did it, we got a card that's worth a fair amount of money, and we got a card that is very, very, very strong, so we're definitely taking it. We're going to look at the other cards here because, for learning experiences. Wouldn't mind Aether Theorist, gives us energy, can scry for us. Other than that, though, this pack's pretty bad for us. Glint Sleeve Artisan is, of course, quite good if we're white. Welding Sparks is probably the next best card in this pack after Sky Sovereign. Tidy Conclusion's also solid, but we definitely take Sky Sovereign here and try to ride it to victory. Okay, I like that Thopter a fair amount. Another Welding Sparks, huh? Durable Handicraft is okay, but I don't think I like it enough to take it here. It's probably just the Thopter. This is another pack that's kind of bleh for us. The green cards aren't much. The Trade Winds is okay, but our deck is not really equipped. The best we can do with it is produce more energy for the most part, which isn't terrible, but I think I'm just going to take a Snare Thopter here. Just a good card. Do we have enough things to want Foundry Inspector? We might. We're pretty high up on the artifact count right now. We could take another Wild Wanderer, which makes our splashing even better, and this card we're splashing is pretty strong. So taking another one doesn't seem too bad. Nimble Innovator is not bad, but I think it's either the Foundry Inspector or Wild Wanderer. We have 7 artifacts. We may not play the self-assembler if we don't pick up another one that drops us to 6. But that's probably enough for Foundry Inspector to be pretty good. But I'm kind of leaning towards the Wanderer. Fixing just gives you so much advantage. And it's close. Could be the wrong pick to make, but I like making my mana better with a decent body. Well, we could have had as many of these as we wanted. Okay, well, here's a thing that makes us energy and helps us fix. There's also a second revoke privileges here. Man, 2 Wild Wanderers. I don't think that's enough to splash 2 revoke privileges. I think another Dragster, but I don't think that's what we want here. A card that makes energy. Blade Master is good. I don't think we actually want to tune with Ether as much as we have, even though we have or splashing. I don't think we need more ways to help us splash. High Tide Hermit is fine, but maybe it's just another Dragster or a Blade Master to have like a lower curve. We are pretty low on 1s and 2s, so we need to be focusing on those to some extent. Though this format doesn't seem to be blistering fast or anything. I think I'll take the Blade Master. It's good with all our vehicles, that's for sure. Ooh, we might want Glint-Nest Crane, but there's also another Malfunction, which isn't a removal spell I love, but it's one of the only removal spells we have at this point. Ether Theorist is quite good, and it is a 2-drop. It's something we need. Glint-Nest Crane right now is looking at getting us 7 artifacts. That's probably enough to be playing it. But I think the Theorist is probably just better than those options, as good as they are. More energy. Ooh, another one. Yeah, I'll take it over these things. What would be the best card in this pack? Probably Sky Skiff, maybe. I love Subtle Strike's a card I like, but yeah, we'll take the Theorist. Can crew our Sky Skiffs. Okay, now we have fewer choices. Select for Inspection. Larger than life isn't really what we want to be taking, I don't think. Yeah, I'll take Select for Inspection. It does give us another way to interact with our opponent's creatures, although it's very situational. Okay, another Blade Master or a High Tide Hermit who gives us energy. Kind of feel like we're set on energy with just better cards that produce it, though. There's a pretty strong trick here in Blossoming Defense. But am I likely to play it? Not really. I think I'm more likely to play Blade Master. Yeah. Although I don't know if I want to be playing 3 of them. Okay, Weldfast Wingsmith actually looks decent in our deck, and so obviously does the Puzzle Knot. I actually probably would think about running 1 green and 1 blue Puzzle Knot. Because I actually think this one's a little better most of the time, because Scry's just way stronger than Gaining Life. Question is, are any of these cards we're looking at going to make our deck? And I don't know what the answer is. I think I'm going to take the Wingsmith, though. Okay, well, we'll take the card that's on color, but I don't think we're playing that. Nimble Innovator, I do like that card. Definitely have some trimming to do. We probably lose Select for Inspection. Yeah, we'll take a Hermit now. So we don't have anything like incredible to do with energy, but we definitely have cards that once we can just start producing energy are big problems for our opponent, like Riparian Tiger. Oh, yeah, poor Self-Assembler. I'm sorry. I passed one when I could have had it. Don't know if I want 3 of these guys. Though we do have 8 things that will trigger it. So, yeah. Gotta cut a couple more cards. Does our deck want the Dragster? Probably still wants the Dragster, yeah. I think I probably cut 1 Blade Master. And probably the Wingsmith. That was sort of the card we were coming down to. We were like, are we even going to play any of the cards we take out of this pack? And I think the answer is going to be no. So Sky Sovereign's our big bomb. It's nice to have that. But we also have some pretty strong green commons in our Tigers and our Rhinos. Some nice fixing to help us play a Revoke Privileges. The question is, do we want to play like Engineered Might? Probably not. Yeah, I mean, we don't have a ton of removal. We have our 2 malfunctions, 1 revoked privileges, and Sky Sovereign. And that's about it, but I think we're okay with where we are. We do need to cut something, though. Certainly not Imperial Voyager or our Wanderers. Might be Innovator. Yeah, it probably is. It probably is. All right. This deck looks pretty good to me. It can definitely produce energy well, and it has good sinks for our energy, so I like that. So, yeah, we'll go play our 3 matches, obviously. We do need to add lands, though, don't we? I'm a little ahead of myself here. Sort by color. Double green. And, you know, this is both a green and a blue card. These are sort of green cards. And yeah, 881 sounds pretty good to me. We do have our Wild Wanderers to help us out a little. So, all right. Well, this is the deck. Now we will go and play the next.